I refused to let my paralyzed dad walk me down the aisle. Now my family thinks I'm heartless, but they don't know my pain. Story 1. Bryn Mendau, refusing father to walk down the aisle. Our first story comes from Bryn Mendau. Am I the butthole for not wanting my dad to walk me down the aisle because he's in a wheelchair? About 3 years ago, my dad was injured in a really bad hit-and-run car accident. He broke just about every bone in his body, leaving him paralyzed from the waist down. Our relationship has always been really good, but I hate seeing him in pain, and admittedly, I try to avoid seeing him because it makes me uncomfortable. In November, I'm getting married. I've been with my fiancé for 4 years, and he and my dad get on really well. Naturally, the discussion of who was going to give me away came up in the family group chat, and I kept silent after I realized my dad would be in a wheelchair. We always talked about him giving me away and having a dance at my wedding, and I don't want to be reminded of what could have been at my wedding. I messaged my mom privately and told her I want my uncle to walk me down the aisle, as we're incredibly close. She naturally asked why, and I told her my dad being in the wheelchair would add complications to the wedding. The walkway would have to be widened to accommodate his wheelchair, and he wouldn't be able to hold my arm or give me a proper hug. She was outraged, called me an ableist piece of shit, and removed me from the group chat. My aunt has since called me, telling me my dad is absolutely devastated. Am I the butthole? Update. I appreciate all the people who have messaged me, offering me support. Your kind words have meant a lot to me whilst rifling through a bunch of messages telling me to do horrible things to myself. Regardless of what you think of me, telling me these things isn't okay. I'm going to call my dad tomorrow. Our first comment comes from Roxy McFly. You're the butthole, one awful daughter. You avoid him because it's hard on you? What about him? Now you don't want to accommodate him to walk you down the aisle? God, you should be ashamed of yourself. Your fiancé should take a long look at who he is marrying. Followed up by, also, do you know how many brides don't have their dad because they are dead or deadbeats? You should consider yourself lucky to have one. Froggerella, yep, exactly this. I'd give anything for either of my parents to simply still be alive at my wedding next year. Now, I think most of us are going to agree on this one, that Opie is definitely the butthole in this situation. I mean, how horrible is it that your dad is already going through all that by himself anyway, to then have his daughter say that he can't walk her down the aisle? I can imagine he would be absolutely heartbroken from that. I think they need to have a long discussion. What do you guys think about this story? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote in that top right-hand corner. 2. Story 2, Throwaway Account. Refusing to attend family gatherings because of a family friend. Our next story is from a throwaway account. Am I the butthole for refusing to attend any family gathering that a mutual family friend will be at, after he made explicit sexual jokes about me? I, a 23-year-old female, am refusing to attend any family gathering that this mutual family friend, a 26-year-old male, attends after he made, in my opinion, disgusting sexual jokes about me. For the sake of this post, I will call him John. Around 3 months ago, my boyfriend, brother, John, and the other guy friends went to Vegas for a boys' trip. On the way home from this trip, John thought it'd be hilarious to start making jokes about me liking black guys in front of my boyfriend. I think it's relevant to note my ex-boyfriend was a black man. They were driving when he pointed out a black car in front of them, saying, "Oh, I bet my name would like that car." Everybody was confused and asked why. He responded saying, "You know, she likes big black things," and starts laughing. My boyfriend, obviously pissed, asked what the hell he's talking about. He adds on, saying, "Come on, bro, it's no secret she likes BBC." My boyfriend tells him to get the fuck out of his car, along with the other friend who was laughing also. He drops them both off and explained to me what happened when he got home. The next day, the other friend who laughed along reached out with a lengthy apology, saying how inappropriate that was, and he shouldn't have gone along with the joke. John never apologized. A few days later, he tried to claim my boyfriend cheated on me Saturday night to my brother, which then sent my brother into a frenzy, who stayed back Saturday night. My boyfriend had to provide receipts for everything just to prove all these were false accusations. Following this, the only message John sent was 2 weeks later, asking my boyfriend to come out to the bar, and when he got no response, sent another message saying, "You're whipped." As I found these jokes not only disgusting and disrespectful to our relationship, but also insanely creepy that you would think to say those things. Then to falsely accuse my boyfriend of cheating in what I suspect is an attempt to break us up. My family are well aware of all of this, including my brother, who now knows he lied. They continue to invite him to family events and hang out with him. Despite my clear communication, it makes me uncomfortable. I'm never going to tell someone to stop hanging out with someone, but it is honestly extremely hurtful that my family will continue to associate with someone who would do something like this. My mom, dad, and brother have continued to pressure me to just forgive him and move past this. My mom saying, it's just boys being boys, even being pressured to invite him to my own graduation party. My dad is very close with John. When I told him he would not be attending, he tried to guilt me by saying, okay, that's up to you. If you want a boring party with no one that's coming, that's your call, and I need to drop the grudge. I explained that some things are unforgivable, and I no longer associate with this person, not to mention, as a woman, how uncomfortable the nature of the jokes are, makes me. The massive thing that jumped out to me here was when the comment that boys will be boys. I hate it when people use that. And someone must agree with me below. Dancing in a hot tub said, not the butthole. I'm sorry, but the only buttholes are John, your parents, and your brother. Boys will be boys is his bull, and is used to explain away a lot of crappy behavior so that people don't have to hold others accountable and keep living in a bubble. What is it about John anyway that they'll pick him over you? Why is his comfort more important than yours? Maybe if you phrase your questions in an equally manipulative way like that, Dad will get it. I know this sub doesn't like this tactic, but I know narcissists, manipulative people, and they don't understand empathy. You gotta outmind game them so they can possibly see your point of view. I'm finding it really strange that the family's treating it that way. That's ridiculously. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote in that top right-hand corner. Story 3, not wanting dad's newly found daughter around all the time. Our next story is, am I the butthole for not wanting my dad's newly found daughter around all the time? My mom and dad have been married for a little over 20 years. They got married when my mom was 18 and my dad was 21. Apparently, the start of their relationship was a bit rocky, and my dad cheated on my mom a few times, which, without his knowledge, led to his daughter, Tessa, a 19-year-old female. I don't know the details, but my mom forgave my dad, and they've been great since. They have 3 kids, me, a 16-year-old male, and my sisters, Danielle, a 15-year-old female, and Tanya, a 13-year-old female. My parents are pretty great, all in all. As an example, my dad teaches me how to fix cars, and me and my mom watch movies together, and we also do stuff as a family quite often. Now, months ago, prior to all this crazy stuff, a girl reached out to my dad on social media, told us she was his daughter. They checked it out, turned out to be true, and my dad started spending time with her, and honestly, everyone was fine with it. After all, how couldn't you be? We, my sisters and I, were asked to meet her too, which was fine, but it did not go very well. She is a very self-obsessed person, and honestly quite rude. Again though, I was fine, as I rarely saw her anyway. Well, she moved in. Apparently, her mom finally had enough of her because of her attitude and the fact that she doesn't go to work or go to college. She told us a similar story, making herself out to be the victim, but that's what her mom told my dad. She is horrid. She literally lays in the living room all day, is rude, and tries to order me and my sisters around because I am the oldest. She uses that stuff without asking, like my sister's makeup. She eats literally all the food. I even found her playing my Xbox in my room, in my bed. I mean, what the? Again, that would be one thing. I'm usually outside or in my room anyways. But my problem is that she demands to be included in everything my mom and dad, or we as a family, do. When she is not laying around, that fixing cars with my dad has become my dad fixing cars with Tessa, because I no longer want to be endlessly criticized because she demands to come along. Watching movies with my mom has become watching movies that Tessa wants to watch because otherwise, she will throw a tantrum with my mom and Tessa because Tessa is super glued to the living room couch. Family time equals Tessa time, and my dad caves to her every demand. So, I finally lost my shit after months of this and yelled at them to get this weirdo that no one knows or likes to stop ruining everyone's day 24. 7. Well, I got yelled at by my dad, who said I should be more accepting of my sister, to which I told him she is not my sister. She is a fuck-up 19 years ago that he now saddles everyone up with. My mom started crying. My sisters backed me up. My dad was furious. Now, having cooled down, I sort of feel bad. I mean, I get what my dad is being like this. He probably just feels guilty. But if I'm being honest, I'm also considering asking my uncle if I can live with him because I am sick and tired of this entire situation. So, am I being the butthole here? A couple of comments from this one. Wham Alice, not the butthole. She sounds awful, and while she may be your half-sister biologically, she is not your sister. She was a stranger a few months ago. OP replied, she still is a stranger to me, basically just some weird rude girl occupying the living room. Healthy Bet 7 replies, not the butthole. That sounds like such a difficult situation. Moving in with your uncle may be a good idea, but speak with your mom first. With your siblings, she needs to talk to your dad. Please update us with how it goes. OP replies, oh my, I first talked to my uncle in person and we'll go from there. God, what a situation that is. And what do you guys think of the situation? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote in that top right-hand corner. 4. Story 4. Announcing pregnancy at best friend's wedding, and next story from Meadow Hickton. Am I the butthole for announcing my pregnancy at my best friend's wedding? This happened in January, but the repercussions are still very much happening now. My husband and I have been trying for a baby for over 5 years. We went to a fertility doctor. We were told my husband had a low sperm count. A few months later, I was diagnosed with endometriosis, making our chances of natural conception incredibly low. We decided we were going to try for another year and then look into adoption. I found out in November that I'm pregnant and due in early August. My best friend's wedding, as I said, in January. We have a big group of friends, and we all live pretty far away from each other, as well as all went to university in different places and moved there. It's very rare we are all together, and the news of my long-awaited pregnancy was what I wanted to share in person and not over the phone. I didn't make a massive announcement, I simply just told people as I saw them. A lot of people knew we were struggling, so wanted to see how we were getting on. It did garner a bit of attention, but nothing major. My best friend dragged me away towards the end of the night and said she was furious with me for making this night all about me. I was apologetic, but explained my reasoning and expected her to be happy for me. She was saying anything, but has made absolutely no effort with me since. Am I the butthole? I'm going to go out there and say this, that I don't think that you're the butthole. I mean, if you went in there and then stood on the stage with a microphone, said, "Everybody, I'm pregnant." What'd you think about that? But you didn't. Yeah, I mean, it sounded like it was natural flow of the conversation. You were just letting people know, and I think that's absolutely fine, you know? And I made this comment before reading the comments below. And I might be in the wrong here because there's a lot of "you're the butthole." You hijacked what's supposed to be their special day to make an announcement about you. And also saying things like, you were maybe 2 months pregnant, so you had like 7 more months to announce it. So, I can kind of see that point as well, but I just don't see it as that big of a deal. I'm not sure. So, I turn to you guys. What do you guys think about this situation? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget the vote in this top right-hand corner. 5. Story 5. Not going back to dad's because of stepkids I'm next door. It's from Cruel Listed. Am I the butthole for not going back to my dad's because I can't handle his stepkids anymore? A couple of years ago, my dad got remarried. His new wife has a daughter and son that my dad eventually adopted. They both have conditions which affect their behavior and honestly make them really annoying to me. This is when I started to dislike going over there, but since they're family, so I tried to be nice. It was okay for a while, but about 5 months ago, my stepmother died. After she died, we had to move into a small 2-bedroom apartment. This meant that my dad was going to be sharing a room with my stepbrother, and I was now sharing a room with my stepsister. The lack of privacy and her always getting into my personal space and into my stuff is driving me crazy. Without my stepmom, my dad needs a lot of help with the kids, so I often have to watch and take care of them myself, which is exhausting as they need constant attention. Even when my dad is there, there's nowhere to get away from them or have time to myself. I've talked to my dad about it, and he says he knows it's tough, but in the end, just makes me feel guilty for not wanting to be around them so much. Last week, I had to watch them while my dad went to the grocery store. We were doing fine and just watching TV. She was getting upset because I wouldn't cuddle with her. I really dislike close contact. Then her brother wanted to do something else and got upset because I wasn't going to do it with him. I tried to tell her, let's give you the thing her brother wanted to do, but she wanted to finish the movie and wouldn't let go of my arm. It all just went crazy from there, with them yelling. I just couldn't handle it anymore, so for the first time, I went to my room and locked myself inside. At one point, my stepsister was screaming at the door for me to let her in. When my dad got home a little while later, he started yelling at me for locking myself in my room when the kids were upset. Then he told me how to go to apologize to them and clean up the mess because the kids had trashed the place. When he said that, I just left. I walked out the door and kept walking for a while. Eventually, I called my mom to pick me up. I told her everything that happened. She talked to my dad about it and got him to understand that it was getting overwhelming for me. He did apologize to me and said he would work on doing things differently and has been looking for a babysitter to help. But even taking that into account, I just don't want to go back there at all or see them again. There's just so much calm at my mom's. Like, she and my stepdad have other kids now too, but they're much easier to deal with, and I actually like spending time with them sometimes. I also actually have privacy there. My dad's been asking when I want to come back because he and the kids have been missing me, and how my stepsister is especially sad. All I can think of at this point is I just don't care they're sad anymore. I just don't want to go back, ever. And a couple of the comments are, in my opinion, says, what are the ages, not the butthole? You need to consider your mental health also. He chose to be in this situation, but you didn't have a choice. Asking you to take up the caregiver role isn't fair. OP replied, I'm 15 and they're 7 and 8. Boss Redranger says, definitely not the butthole. At your age, you deserve more. This is your dad's burden. Unfortunately, it may cause some guilty feelings, but you're not doing anything wrong, and your feelings are completely justified. Damn, that is a tough and a sad situation to be in. I think you kind of got a feel for the father as well, but as someone said, he is his situation. No? You can't expect the 15-year-old to become a caregiver, although it does happen all over the place. But what do you guys think about the story? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote in that top right-hand corner once again.